Is it permissible to say this is a divine punishment? And the response to this is that the hadith is very clear. Any calamity, especially a plague, is a punishment to some and a mercy to others. This is very clear. It is incorrect to extrapolate and say this is a punishment to everybody, because the hadith is very clear. Also, a punishment for sins to certain people, no problem. But for anyone else to specify because of this sin, how do you know? You are now speaking on behalf of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We do not specify. We are very, very irritated and angry at what is happening to our Uyghur brothers and sisters. We know that that government is a tyrannical government. We know that it is now going down a path of Nazi fascism. Since World War II, we have not seen this large-scale concentration camps as we now see in the East Turkestan province. And it is very ironic that we are currently celebrating the 75th anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz and Dachau. It is very, very ironic that our government just gave $10 million to Never Again. It is bitterly ironic that our president is standing with the president of Israel, giving more and more concessions to the Israelis against the Palestinians, all the time saying, never again, we're never going to allow this to happen, we've learned our lesson. And right under our noses, the whole world knows what is going on in China and even what is going on to the Palestinians. So we have to say very clearly that it appears there seems to be two justice systems and two different rules by how people are judged, and not all bloods are equal in their eyes. This seems very clear as well. Nonetheless, our anger at the Chinese government and what it is doing does not allow us to go beyond what is right. Allah says in the Quran, this is explicit, لا يجرمنكم شنآن قوم على ألا تعدلوا اعدلوا هو أقرب للتقوى. Do not allow the hatred of a group of people to cause you to act unjustly. Act justly even with your enemies. That is the essence of taqwa. This is in the Quran. We are angry at what the government is doing, yet we do not say that the whole city of Wuhan has been put under threat of Allah and punishment of Allah because of this. How do we know? By the way, maybe it is, but maybe not. It's not my business to say. All that we can say, any calamity could be a means of punishment. And yes, when a sin is public, then generally speaking, it is true, generically speaking, that it is possible that Allah's adab comes, but we never generalize to everybody, because there are innocent people there, and there are people that have nothing to do with the crime, and we cannot just say all of them are evil and going to Jahannam. It's not their fault what is going on. This is the opportunity to, in this dunya, be compassionate, send any aid if possible, and in a religious perspective, give da'wah. And there are Muslims in that city, by the way. There are graduate students studying in that city. There are local Chinese Muslims in that city as well. It's not as if we have to strip ourselves of our complete humanity. There are people that are suffering that don't deserve to suffer, and it will be, insha'Allah ta'ala, a means of rahmah for them. It is not adab for them. There are people upon whom this is not adab, but rather a rahmah. So we do not generalize and say that all of them are suffering. And also, there's an element that I saw myself very clearly online. Some Muslims seem to be happy that this is happening. And we do not take happiness in the pain and suffering of innocent people. These people were not the ones who put the Muslims in prison. These people are average human beings. Would you like it? And by the way, the same justification is used when this country is attacked by the crazies, by the radicals. And they say, all you guys are guilty. All you guys are evil. They use the same justification. We don't like it then. No, not everybody is guilty. We live in this land. We can speak. So then why are we applying it over there? Why are we having a double standard? We know the reality that our government can do some very evil things, but not all the people are evil. We know this reality, that foreign policy can kill 1 million people in Iraq and not bat an eyelid. Go and do Afghanistan. Guantanamo is still operating right now as we speak. 20 years almost have gone by, and there are still over 50 people being tortured worse than dogs in our local neighborhood would ever be done. If that is done to a dog, they would call in the RSPCA and call the police, and the Society for the Cruelty of Animals would come in. So we can call something injustice, and we are living in that society. If somebody else were to gloat that, oh, the hurricane came to Dallas and so many people's property was damaged, they'd be happy at this. Would you like this? So then why do we allow some Muslims to do the same to what is happening in China? It's our job to teach them. No, we don't gloat. These are innocent people. Even if they're non-Muslim, we ask Allah to guide them, but we don't gloat at a tragedy happening to them. And there are also Muslims over there. So the bottom line, yes, it is true. Allah says in the Quran, any evil that happens to you is because of what you have done. But then what does Allah say? وَيَعْفُوا عَنْ كَثِيرٍ. Allah can also forgive because of this. Now is the time to be compassionate, to help them out, and to give them da'wah as well, that turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And those who do so, this will be a means of rahmah for them, not a means of adhab. And with that, inshallah ta'ala, we'll conclude for today, and I'll see you tomorrow for our class, inshallah, about the Qiyamah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.